ואז כאילו כל הבא,
הכי חשוב, אם קורה משהו, הכל בסדר.
לא, אני סתם אשאל שאלות.
לא.
Hello and welcome to the Tel Aviv University Honorary Doctorate Ceremony. I'm your host, Maayan Hoffman, Deputy CEO of Strategy and Innovation at the Jerusalem Post, and I am so honored to be here tonight to interview some of the most exciting and interesting people who have touched Israel and Tel Aviv University over the years. I want to call up our first interview, Pavel Pevsner, correct? Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So, Pavel, you're an authority on computational biology and bioinformatics. In the real world, that transfers to breakthroughs in the sequencing of DNA, antibodies, and antibiotics. Tell us about the implications of your work.
Genome sequencing has transformed modern biology, and it launched the era of personalized medicine. And I can talk about applications of bioinformatics in biology and biomedicine for hours, but I probably should focus on something specific, and specifically sequencing bacterial and viral pathogen. As we are exiting COVID-19 pandemics, we remember that 20 years ago there was SARS pandemics, 12 years ago there was a European outbreak of E. coli, but in reality, outbreaks happened every week. We don't hear about them because they are contained. And the first thing to contain an outbreak is to identify the pathogen and sequence its genome. So we are very happy that we contributed to sequencing MERS genome in Saudi Arabia, chlamydia outbreak in the United Kingdom, or cholera outbreak in China.
Amazing. Now, how did you become connected with the Israeli scientific community in general and with Tel Aviv University specifically?
I was very lucky 3 decades ago to get an invitation for the very first Israeli conference in bioinformatics. And Tel Aviv University is a powerhouse in bioinformatics. So there are some leaders in the field, such as Professor Ron Shamir, the founding father of Israeli bioinformatics. So I still remember 3 decades ago riding a donkey on Golan Heights, and we became friends. And later on, we organized Bioinformatics for Biologists Consortium, which published the textbook, Bioinformatics for Biologists. A few years later, we published a paper in Science magazine arguing that every biologist now should study computing and bioinformatics. At that time, it looked like a crazy and unrealistic idea. Today, with this rapid growth of bioinformatics program everywhere, it is clear we were right, and it's clear that biologists will be required to learn computing in the same way physicists are learning mathematics today.
Unbelievable. Now, artificial intelligence is becoming ingrained in, well, everything. So tell me, how has AI impacted your field specifically, and what do you think the future holds?
We hear about many applications of deep learning, such as world-best chess player or ChatGPT. But deep learning is already greatly contributing to science, including bioinformatics in particular. For example, it made major advances in solving protein folding problem, which is the key for efficient drug design, the problem that evaded all attempts to solve it in the last 50 years. From my perspective, I'm very excited about applications of deep learning in antibiotic discovery, because the last half a century was a continuous race between pharmaceutical companies developing new antibiotics and pathogen developing antibiotic resistance. And humanity may face a major crisis in 10, 20 years when all existing antibiotics will stop working because pathogen has developed resistance. Now, bacteria, everything we learned about antibiotics, we essentially stole the ideas from bacteria, because what is antibiotics? It's one good bacteria killing in pathogenic bacteria using bullets that represent antibiotics. With AI, we maybe don't need to steal from bacteria and invent our own antibiotics, and hopefully provide a solution for the constantly raising antibiotic resistance problem.
Incredible. Well, congratulations on your doctorate degree, and thank you so much for spending time talking to me today. Thank you. I think we're going to have somebody else come up next. I'm looking forward to our next interview. I think he's getting his picture taken, and then I'm going to get a chance to speak to him. So we'll find out who that is. Who am I going to be interviewing? What's your... Amazing. Say that again.
Nicholas Pepas,
And what are you getting your honorary doctorate for?
for the general contributions in the area of biomaterials and drug delivery, that is, new methods of treatment of patients who suffer from certain diseases, and especially debilitating diseases, especially autoimmune diseases, and so on.
Can you give me some examples of the kinds of things you're talking about?
I'm talking about coming up with new types of therapeutic agents, new types of proteins, new types of drugs, if you wish, that can be used in order to treat patients who suffer from multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis, as you know, is a very debilitating disease. Another disease is Crohn's disease that many people have, and they have to go often, to take care of the disease because they have problems in the gastrointestinal area. So typically in these diseases we treat them using injections, shots. Okay. And shots are not always the best way. Patients do not like shots. And very often we have a problem of what we call in English compliance. They are not willing to take their shots. So we are developing new systems, new products, new formulations that can be used to treat patients not by injections, by shots, but by other means. If you wish, by a capsule or something like that. Also, we are working a lot in the area of biomaterials. As you probably know, there is a new field now of regenerative medicine, trying to regenerate certain organs. For example, if we have a problem with our meniscus in our knees, we should be able to replace it with a new cartilage that is developed from our own cells. And this is work that we have been doing, others as well, over the last 20 or 30 years.
Now, when you say we, who are we talking about, and what is your connection to Tel Aviv University?
Very good. I mean myself and my group of researchers and collaborators and graduate students and postdocs, but also very often I'm talking about people in other universities and other countries, such as Israel, who have been working with us for many years. So here at Tel Aviv University, we have a very significant interaction, collaboration with several professors in order to develop new systems for treatment of patients. In the long run, let's not forget that there are solutions presently. They are not always the best solutions. We are always trying to come up with something that will make our patients feel a little bit better. For example, they will be freer to move around. They will not have to be at home to take a particular product at a particular time. And that's really what we are doing. So when I say we, I mean collaboration with other, especially with Israel. We have many collaborations.
And where are you from?
I'm originally from Greece. I was born and raised in Greece, but I left in 1971. Came to the United States, to the university called MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
We know it well.
Yeah, of course, many Israelis there. And then after that, to various universities in the United States, and I'm at the University of Texas. As you probably know, in Texas we have a large community of medical scientists. And again, we are very proud of what we have done in that area. So it's a very nice environment.
Great. Well, congratulations on your award, and thank you so much for being here, for sure. So I'm going to hopefully look for my next interviewee. I see he's waiting there. Right now, it looks a little empty in this room, but there are supposed to be hundreds of people here tonight to celebrate and honor the individuals who are receiving their honorary doctorates. These are individuals from around the world who have a connection with Israel and with Tel Aviv University specifically. He's on his way, coming over right now. I don't know who my surprise is going to to be. This is only going to last about, I think, an hour, and then we're going to have a chance, to hear, though, from many of our honorees. And I think that is extremely exciting because you will learn about things from how space programs have run, physics, computational biology, and literature, and so much more. So here we have a welcome. Come on over to me. I have Atala Mansour. Nice to meet you. Thank you. I'm telling me that my Jerusalem Post card is upside down. So Atala, you started your career as a journalist and an author with an interview with none other than David Ben Gurion. Can you remember what it was like to speak to him in general, but also as an Arab citizen of Israel?
I'm sorry, you have a little mistake. I didn't go to Ben Gurion to interview. I was not a journalist at the time. No.
So what did you write about him? How did you meet him?
I lived for 1 year in a Jewish kibbutz.
Okay.
In 1952, 53, when I finished my 1 year training, I made an attempt to organize a group of boys in my village, Noir Oved. But there were no, for example, at the time there were a law in Israel. If you are less than 14, you can't do any work and earn any money without a proof that you, study at night in the afternoon. But this was not. We have no place for
So how did you meet David Ben Gurion from that?
Wait.
Oh, I'm too impatient.
Ben Gurion, when he resigned in 1953 from the prime minister and went to Sde Boker, he organized a group of representative of young people. I wrote him a letter asking him, for God's sake, what are our future? We are taken into consideration? He wrote me a letter in a week. A written letter.
Responding to you.
And he said, please come, I want to speak to you. That he made a small mistake. I was born, and my father was born in a place called Gush Khalaf. But
camera? My aunt, can you stand you?
Okay, come on, we're gonna.
okay. And he said, last sentence he wrote that, you are welcome in my house anytime you want.
Amazing. Now,
I wanted to him to get an answer to my question, what our... So he told me in the letter, and he repeated what he told me there, and I was not embarrassed or I'm shy from him.
I'm going to go on to the next question just because I want to make sure we have time for everyone else. So what is striking, and I think that this is what our readers or our listeners and viewers would love to know about, is that you actually wrote a book in Hebrew in 1966 that was becoming the first non-Jewish author ever to do so.
After meeting Ben Gurion, I became famous. friends of mine arranged for me to write about my visit to Sde Boker.
And that's what started your career.
This was published in A'olam Hazeh. I mean, if I was my brother.
Go ahead.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Go say hi to them and congratulations, Mazal Tov, on your award. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Be careful on the cords. Yep. Thank you, Mazal Tov. Of course. So let's see who they're going to bring up next. It's starting to get a little bit crowded here. You can see that everybody that is getting honored tonight has a very different story from one another. Who you just met now was Atala Mansour, who is a very famous author. And now we are going to meet, this is not Morris Kahn. You gave me the wrong card. Are you Morris Kahn?
No,
know you're not.
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. What is your name?
My name is Antoine Compagnon.
Amazing. So tell me a little bit about why you're getting your doctorate tonight.
Well, I don't know. You should ask them why they chose
Well,
me.
I'd like to know what you do and where you're from.
I am a professor of French and comparative literature, both in Paris, where I taught at the Sorbonne and at the Collège de France, and I'm also a professor at Columbia University in New York. So I've been teaching for 40 years, both in New York and in Paris.
Wow.
And now I've also been elected a member of the Académie Française. So it's
Congratulations. That's
These are
amazing.
the reasons, I guess, why they chose me. And I've been in contact with the University of Tel Aviv for many years. Both at the Sorbonne and at the Collège de France, we had agreements with the University of Tel Aviv. So I've been working in close contact with this university for a long time.
So tell me a little bit about the nature of your work. What are you doing with the literature and what kind of collaborations have come to fruition that have benefited, I would say, mankind?
So initially I worked on the Renaissance. So I worked on Montaigne, who is a quite famous French writer of the 16th century. And my work is also on modern French literature, meaning, let's say, from Baudelaire to Proust, from the middle of the 19th century to the early 20th century. So what is interesting about teaching literature is that it teaches everything: life, love, arts, the arts, living and dying. I mean, literature is an experience that teaches you how to live better. I mean, it's reading. So reading, of course, is important, and then there's scholarly reading, which is what I do because I'm a scholar of literature. So you keep the pleasure of reading when you do it in a scholarly fashion, but you really have to maintain both sides of reading, both the science and the pleasure.
Wow, I hope my children are watching this, the art and the science of reading. It is so important what you just said for our youth for sure today. So tell me, last question, when you think about a message to the youth of today who might aspire to be like you, to be a well-known, famous professor receiving an honorary doctorate tonight at Tel Aviv University, what is the message that you would give them?
To keep reading. What is important is reading. And of course, reading is very vulnerable in today, because reading requires concentration, solitude, attention, and reading possesses you. So it's really, you have to protect it nowadays. And it's when you read that you realize who you are and who you want to be and who you will be. So I'm really insisting that the message is that we should keep reading. And we can keep reading in books that are physical books, but also, of course, digital books nowadays.
Digital reading counts.
The digital reading is I defend all sorts of reading.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much and congratulations.
Very much.
Thank you. Okay, looking forward to who's coming up next. Oh, wonderful. I'm so excited to talk to you. Olga, right? You are a sensational writer and a strong activist for human rights and social justice. Talk to me about how literature and activism collide.
I wouldn't say that I am activist. In fact, I am quite shy and introvert writer, but it only shows that the text, the language, the story can be used as a weapon for fighting. But I am not this kind of activist who is, going and acting outside. So I'm happy that my writing, that my books are treated as a important ideas for good things.
Incredible. So now, what are the causes that are most important to you today? What are you fighting for? You said you're not a fighter, but your literature is fighting. So what are you fighting for now?
It is just the same still. I am very interested from my beginnings in animal rights. So one of my books, which was published also in Israel, was devoted to those subjects, but I know that this is a very hard subject. People don't want even to listen about all those cruelty. So I always try to find a new form, how to tell people what's going on around us, that every single big city have on the surroundings, there are many slaughterhouses and so on, and we are still, as a civilized people, treating ourselves as a Homo sapiens, thinking human beings. We still don't have an idea how to resolve the problem of killing of animals and the huge suffering of them. So I think that I try to find a form how to once again tell the story, but in a different way, I would say. I'm also recently in Poland. There is a subject of rivers, because the rivers are very poisoning in Poland.
Why are the rivers poisoned in Poland?
I think that this is just the pollution of the environment. So we with my friends and the many people in Poland, we are fighting to treat the rivers as personalities which will be protected by law, and I am also part of this movement.
Amazing. You're talking to the climate reporter of the Jerusalem Post, so this is very meaningful to me, really. Anyway, you have won a Nobel Prize already. Okay, so this is not your first award tonight. This is actually your third honorary doctorate, I read. So, is tonight even exciting for you?
It is exciting because of the place in Tel Aviv University, where I spent the last 2 months on the fellowship. This is a very special place for me because my book, the last book, the big one, was devoted to Polish-Jewish relationships in the past, in the history. So I think that my book, thanks to Israeli readers, became universal, and they found something interesting from themselves. So this is a very special ceremony for me today.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, and thank you so much for speaking to me.
Thank you.
Mazal
Thank you so
tov.
much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. And this person I recognize as the real Morris Kahn. Okay.
Put it over here.
No problem.
Check that it works.
Can you hear my question? We're just working out the sound real fast.
All right. Now talk.
Can you hear me? Now can you hear me? Amazing. Still no? Can I hold this?
Can you stand over here?
With me? Sorry, we're just going to work out some kinks over here.
You can hold this and hold that.
Yeah, go for it.
I try that.
Does this help you? Does that work?
Now you're talking.
So let's come together and let's look at the camera.
Okay. Sorry.
What an honor to come over.
Just put it close to your mouth.
Come over by me real
Fine,
fast.
yes.
Come over right here.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yep. We're gonna hold these together because we want to make sure that all of our listeners can hear us. Is that okay?
Okay, fine.
Okay, great. I am so honored to be interviewing right now Mr. Morris Kahn.
Yes.
So you are known for being a business pioneer, an innovator, a philanthropist. And today, the word innovation is thrown around all the time. But I want to know from the real innovator, what do you think innovation means? How do you define innovation?
How do I define
Innovation.
innovation? Innovation is obviously just something new. But when we're talking about innovation in the commercial sense, you have something which you believe is different, will make a contribution, and you prepare to work at it. And it's a challenge.
Wow. Now, you founded an NGO dedicated to keeping Israel's beaches and rivers clean, even before people understood the importance of sustaining our environment. Tell me about your vision and why nature is so important to you.
We live on this little planet, and this little planet is under pressure. And one of the great pressures is really temperature and water. We have to solve this problem. But what we've done is I formed an organization to fight to make the environment in which we live a healthier, cleaner environment, and we've actually fought. I fought the first environmental fight in Israel.
What year was that?
That was in the early days when I pretty much had just arrived. The Shayetet, people who train and work underwater for the army, they were coming down with cancer. And I realized there was something wrong. And I did some research. And I forced the army to stop training in the Kishon. The Kishon was killing our young divers. And this was the first environmental fight in Israel, and I won it.
Incredible. Now, today, so many years later, you are most known for Space IL and your investment in sending us, Israel, to the moon.
Yeah.
So what's next for Israel's space program?
Okay, the Space AL program was to put a satellite on the moon. Not a satellite, but what would you call it? Anyway,
A shuttle?
by the way, do you?
We're not editing. It's just live.
Hey?
Don't worry about it.
No, do you get this right in the end?
No editing.
It's just as it is.
They're just listening to
Okay,
us now.
fine. Okay, so we put the first was to put a project on the moon, and the objective was to make the Israelis proud and show that we could do something. It was an educational program, and we got to the moon. Unfortunately, we crashed, but we got to the moon. We launched a second program, which is in process now. Right now, it's a bit of a problem. Yeah, the conditions in Israel are a little bit different, but I'm sure that they will survive.
I am sure as well. Now, last question. You are a Zionist, and I'm going to say that Zionism is not such a popular word today.
Okay.
So tell me why you are a Zionist, and what is your message to the next generation who might be questioning whether they should be Zionists?
The Jewish people need a homeland of our own. We've seen our history where we've not had somebody protect us and we've had nowhere to go. There's no question. We need a home of our own. We have just got to be careful that we don't destroy the home in which we're living.
Amen to that. Well, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Give that back to you.
you.
Thank you. Hey, Wow, what an honor to interview the Morris Kahn, the man who helped put Israel on the moon and did so many other things, which is why he is going to receive his honorary doctorate tonight. As you can see, if you look around, the room is filling up with hundreds of people here to congratulate all of the honorees. And coming up now, I am going to have the privilege of interviewing Tamir Gilat. Hi, welcome. Come on over here so we can look together at the camera. How you doing? Right over here. Okay. Welcome, welcome.
Should I look at you or the camera?
More at the camera if you can. I seem to look at the interviewer also, so we'll do our best. But I want first for people to hear a little bit about your amazing story. You were diagnosed with metastatic pancreatic and kidney cancer and given 3 to 6 months to live. But you're here, Baruch Hashem, you survived. Walk me through the journey.
Well, it is a very complicated and challenging journey. As you said, I was diagnosed 12 years, 3 months, and I think 9 days ago, but who is counting? And I was given between 3 to 6 months to live. I went through many different types of treatments and 2 major surgeries. As you look at me, you don't see, but most of my internal organs are cut to half or not in my body. Actually, the 2 whole organs in my body are my heart and my lungs. On the rest is cut or taken out, and my smile, but you know, smile is not an internal organ. The story is not about me. The story is about cancer research, because I went through 2 clinical trials that saved my life. And the story is about cancer research, about supporting cancer research, and I am the chairman of the Israel Cancer Research Fund, that we support all the cancer research, all the basic cancer research in Israel, and this is our future, to support cancer research.
And you don't just support cancer research, you supported $95 million worth towards 2,750 breakthrough Israeli cancer researchers over the past 45 years, including some Nobel laureates. But it often seems like no matter how much research we do, there is always more cancer. Is the research not working?
The research is working amazing. Every day there are breakthroughs, and especially here in Tel Aviv University and in Israel, we have the best brains of cancer research in the world. And we are the Israel Cancer Research Fund, are supporting all of them. Every year we conduct the dream team of cancer researchers in Israel, and there are many breakthroughs with our researchers, and it's really comforting to know that within a few years there will be more researchers that will implement all the work in the medical world, and more life will be saved. And I hope that within 10-15 years we will be able all together to turn cancer into a chronic disease, slowly but surely.
Amen to that. So last question, what does it feel like to be here tonight and receive your honorary doctorates?
For me, it's a very important and overwhelming milestone in my journey. As I told you, I was given 3 to 6 months to live, but I decided, you asked me what is my secret. I decided that my youngest daughter was 18, I was 18 months old, Gabriel was 2.5 years old, and Alma was 13. And I said, my toddlers will never get to know me if I'll die now. So I decided to stay alive no matter what. And I'm doing, life took me to a very interesting and very important path. First of all, as we mentioned, the Israel Cancer Research Fund. The second thing that I do is I support cancer patients and their families. And I do everything I do since I was diagnosed. Of course, I do voluntarily, just from the bottom of my heart, and according to the energy and the abilities and my condition that I'm here. But really, it's Tel Aviv University. I studied here my law degree. Until today, I'm, I think, the only soccer player that while he was studying law at Tel Aviv University, he was playing in Maccabi Tel Aviv in the first division. I also had my second degree here, my executive MBA with Kellogg-Recanati program. and I'm active in Tel Aviv University since my very first days at the university. Means that I'm 40 years active here. So it's like closing a very, very important circle, and I thank you all for your time and for being here with us, and let's do good things together.
Oh, amazing. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
And I apologize that my English is not...
Your English was excellent. Not to worry. Thank you. What an honor it was to speak to you. Thank you so much. What an incredible story. You know, my son right now is going to Tel Aviv University as well. He's in the Pisagot program learning electrical engineering and physics, and maybe one day he'll be like this and come back and say 40 years later what he's been able to contribute to the university. I'm looking forward to getting another interview, but in the meantime, let's just think about where we are, which is the heart of Tel Aviv, a huge campus with thousands of students coming here to learn in so many different degrees and different ways. And the people here tonight who are receiving their honorary degrees are of the highest level. These are people, again, from all fields: literature, science, computers, engineering, and many forms of technology. And I'm just waiting for them to bring me somebody else that hopefully I can speak to. I don't know where they are, but I will check in. Maybe we have somebody else. Oh, amazing. I'm so happy to meet you. How are you? Good to see you too. What's your name?
Uwe Becker from Germany.
Wonderful. And tell me, why are you getting an honorary doctorate tonight?
Well, I'm here for representing the German Friends of Tel Aviv University, which is a pretty long connection. And this is the think tank of Israel. This is the future place where, or better, the engine of the country. And for so many years we're connected to Tel, and this evening is always amazing to see what has been done here and how many important people are coming just to be part of this huge family.
So tell me what it means to be the German Friends of Tel Aviv University. What is your role?
It means that bringing together people in Germany who like to support what's been done here and to be part of the legacy of Tel Aviv University. And this all helps. There are many people in Germany who know about the existence. There are a few of them who really created the university within the 1950s. And today the next generation is there. So bringing people together to support the work here and to get the connection and the bridge to Germany.
And are there any specific research or any specific, areas that you've supported that are really meaningful to you?
Well, there's the one side, which is like the Buchmann Meta School of Music. Josef Buchmann is a Frankfurt citizen, and he for many, many decades already supports here. Or the Buchmann Law School. This is all footprints of Germany here at Tel Aviv University too. But there are many other research, from going to the moon to the printed heart. So it's so astonishing how the future is created here in Tel Aviv.
100%. So last question. Why should somebody continue to support Tel Aviv University? What do you see in the future?
Well, the best way to be part of giving society something really as a path to the future. It's so innovative here. It's the spirit that is here. It's the many young students that are here, the professors, the PhDs, all those who are part of this huge, not only the campers, but what makes Tel Aviv University really the engine for Israel, for the Middle East, but for the world. And looking forward to see this huge legacy continuing.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Shalom, wife. The English. You speak only English?
I speak both,
Okay,
but we're
I
going to
go.
we're going to do this in English together. We're just on camera, so we're going to come over here.
She's one of the big supporters of the university.
Amazing.
So many years in connection with the university.
So tell me about that. Why are you so connected to Tel Aviv University?
Because I had a husband who donated here quite a lot of money. You can see our building. No, it's hidden there behind the trees. It's
Okay. What is
the street.
What is it?
And there is the prize, the famous prize, Dan David Prize, which you probably heard about.
Of course, that's your husband's?
Yes.
Oh, what an honor.
I'm the wife of the prize.
Yeah, for sure.
He didn't like it when I said it. He usually gave me kind of a hitting me, and Gabby, no.
Well, tell for our listeners and our viewers, because they might not know like I do, what the Dan David Prize is. So explain to everybody who your husband
I will
was.
tell you about Dan David Prize very little, because I feel like I don't want to speak about it. I feel if anybody wants to know about it, he opens Google and it's there everywhere, no problem. It's only something from a person, a gentleman, like my husband, my late husband, who donated to this institute, which he thought it was. Just a minute, hold it.
I'm not sure where she's going, but I think we're in for a surprise. Oh, this is so nice. Thank you. What a great idea. 1 second. She's just going to finish up, and then we're going to go. Okay. So
And so this is one part. I mean, his generosity and returning to society what society gave him. And he brought me in 1979, 1980. And the other day I calculated 40 years, more than 40 years. And I was very happy about it. Meanwhile, my husband is gone. And I planted my roots not only here in the university as the wife of, but I'm also a student. And I'm getting to my first degree in a very, very, very short time.
Right now?
Right here. I'm studying over there at Mexico Building Arts.
Wow. Well, good luck and
Thank you so
congratulations.
much.
Can I hug you? It's amazing to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Come on over.
She's our chairwoman of our Board
Okay.
of Governors.
Wonderful. It's nice to meet you. So tell me, why do you want to be the chairwoman of the Board of Governors of TAU?
Well, first and foremost, because TAU is an excellent university, and it is the largest one in Israel, and a place for innovation and social involvement and excellence. Everything that represents also the honorees of tonight, the honorary doctorate. So they honor us, we honor them, everybody's happy. This is part of our 2023 Board of Governors meeting. We are celebrating the whole week, 75th anniversary of Israel, in many, many ways, lectures, lab tours, parties, and more. And we are ending our $1 billion global fundraising campaign this year. Very successfully. We finished our goal, we reached our goal even before the deadline. And of course, you know, donations is everything for universities. Every development, every new initiative is not funded by the basic funding of the university and from the government and tuition. So we are very proud. I'm very proud to be connected in such a wonderful organization.
It's fabulous. Now, I want to ask you, I know it's very hard because you can't really pick out one researcher because everyone is amazing here, but try to just choose for me one thing that you think, you know, really epitomizes the incredible work that's going on today at the university and what we have to look forward to in the future.
Wow, it is extremely difficult, especially now after I participate in some of the labs and lectures. But I think that one of the principles that is very important for our president these days, Professor Porat, is multidisciplinary and inter-faculty collaborations. So we find amazing collaborations from different areas of science, of different areas of research, and also humanities with engineering and so forth. So I can tell you about many projects. It's very hard for me to identify a specific one at the moment, but that are together bring opportunity. For instance, we heard today about the space, the nano spaceships that are going to the space. Now that it's real, we understood that the nano ones that cost much less can bring a lot of knowledge down to Earth. But in order to do it, you need computer, you need science, but sometimes the research involves archaeology and agriculture and all kinds of things that are not connected with space in any way. So this is my contribution, my small contribution.
Phenomenal. Well, thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Oh. Come on in. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Giora. Spiegel.
And what is your role here at the university?
I have no role. I'm a guest.
Here tonight.
Yeah, I'm a guest of Tamir, and I'm honored because we played, both of us, we played soccer in the same club, Maccabi Tel Aviv, in different.
While you were at the university.
He is the hero of my youth. He is one of the top players ever that were in Israel. And it's a big honor for us that he came to this event, to this important event, and really big honor.
Wow, that is so meaningful, and it just shows how American I am when I don't know these things.
But soccer, you know,
right,
not football.
Yeah, you know.
I know. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about when you did play and why you came tonight to honor Tamir.
I came to honor Tamir, but I was excited because he invited me. Because we played in different periods in the club, but we stayed friends. And I know the last years he's passing a very difficult time, but all his mind is going through giving. And when you give, there's a lot that stays with you. You know, when you give like he gives. So I'm really honored, and I'm excited, and I don't know, overwhelmed.
Wonderful.
And by the way, also Giora is one of the very few football or soccer players that studied in Tel Aviv University.
Yes, I graduated in economics.
Yeah.
Are you working in economics today?
Not at all.
We all do that. It's okay. Great. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you. What an honor. Thank you. It's getting fun now. This is great. So you are Dr. Mark Shmulevitz, head of the Zimin Institutes. You were just added to my list today, and it was very exciting because I remember that you are running a company called Alanik, right? And it operates in Israel and Singapore, and I was very curious what it is like to work in Singapore.
Singapore is a very stable and thought-through environment. There are a lot of people who are deep thinkers. There is a big research legacy to build on. So that is why working from Singapore is a real rewarding experience.
So cool. Now, tell me also a little bit about Zimin Institutes and what you're trying to do over there.
Zimin Institute is the project with the goal to help researchers in applied research projects to be more successful in creating real-world innovation, because we have so many interesting research items that remain on paper, and we want to make sure that more of these things in the domain where we're here, which is medical device engineering and related areas, becomes something that helps people in the real world.
And it's working.
It is working. We started 4 years ago, and we're expanding the program now.
Incredible. Now, your experience is in technology, so I feel like we have to ask you, what does the future hold? Is it just AI, or what should we be focused on right now?
We can talk about that for hours. To give you a few examples, I think AI that you mentioned is a huge shift, something that we see happening maybe once in 20 or 30 years, and we will see a lot of applications as people. AI will make our life easier. I hope that we will get rid of things that are not really necessary, such as keyboards to enter text or displays to show information. But apart from AI, I think the big things will be related to energy transition, marginal cost of energy going to down to zero, close to zero, and of course in healthcare.
What about healthcare? What is going to be the breakthrough over there?
Several things. Gene editing is a big story. And I also believe that digital health will become a bigger and bigger thing, because try to think about it. What do we do with us today? We do not feel well. We go to a doctor who sees a snapshot of our situation right now. But in the future, it should be different. We should be monitored using various devices, and it should be predictive healthcare versus curing what is already not going well.
Amazing. Well, I think we'll all be healthier when that comes to be. Thank you so much. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Of course. So I'm just going to look around and see. Oh, am I got somebody else to come? Wonderful. Yes, please introduce yourself and tell me your connection to the university.
Yes, my name is Ben Nemeni. I used to work at Tel Aviv University between the years of 81 and 87. I had to leave because of economic circumstances. There were difficult years in Israel. Went on a shlichut in Germany, finished my shlichut, and wanted to come back to university. Unfortunately, there was no taken, and there was no place to come back, and I was refused and thrown into the deep water.
Oh no, so what did you do?
I started a business.
Good thing to
And
do.
I've done extremely well. So after about 20 years, the university found me and said, now you should give some money to the university. And I said, okay, what's the project? They said, research fund. I gave money for research fund. Then they said, there's a nice lecture room in the checkpoint building. I said, okay, I'll give a checkpoint. And so they took my shirt already.
Well, thank you for giving to Tel Aviv University, and congratulations for being here tonight and celebrating with all of the honorees. Thank you. Pleasure. Hi. Wonderful. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Vanessa Elia.
And what are you doing here tonight? What's your connection to Tel Aviv?
To Tel Aviv in general? Or
Tel Aviv University.
So I started a fund for eye research 3 years ago in Tel Aviv University in conjunction with Sheba Hospital.
And how's that going? Tell me a little bit about what you're researching.
It's absolutely amazing, actually, what's going. I didn't expect such amazing results as we've had. I had a meeting with Sheba and Blavatnik Center about 5 days ago. What we're trying to do is find cures for retinal diseases that blind people, but particularly retinal diseases that are not common, because obviously we have the pharma to research things that will make money for them, but unfortunately less for things that are a little bit rarer, diseases that are rare. So we're particularly concentrating on retina pigmentosa, which is a disease that I think, without exaggeration, there might not be more than 100,000 people around the world that have that disease.
What is the disease?
It's a disease that slowly the photoreceptors in your eyes start to die off and you become blind. It starts with your peripheral vision where you don't see, then it gets closer until it's your cones in the middle of your eyes and you just have a tiny little dot left for seeing, but a lot of them also go blind. The problem with that disease in particular is that there are many mutations that can cause it. So once you've found a cure for one of the mutations, that might be 500 people who have that mutation, and then you have to find another way of curing another 500 people. So even if there are 100,000 people that have RP, it's really almost personalized medicine, because you cannot have the same cure for RP for each individual.
And how long do you think this research is going to need to go until there is some kind of treatment?
So believe it or not, we are actually close to bringing a medicine to trial with animals. So that's very exciting, and we're hoping that it will obviously it's showing promise right now, but it will actually get through. And then what we're also working with is personalized medicine. In other words, working with people's genes and trying to repurpose medication that's already out there and that's been approved by the FDA to make it easier to be able to give a cure to somebody as quickly as possible, because these sicknesses go very quickly, and once you get the challenge of not seeing, you can be blind within 5 to 10 years.
Well, thank you for your donation, and I'm sure that all the people with this are also thanking you, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we do it again, because I forgot in a very... Oh, no. Do you think we can do it again? No?
Well, we can't do it again because, believe it or not, this is live, but I can ask you what you wanted to say that you didn't get to say.
Now that will...
That won't work? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hi. Yes, thank
we're gonna get ready to do a.
Which way are we facing?
Facing the camera.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Who am I interviewing right now?
I think Vlad Schmidt. Do you want me to be here or together? Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. This is so exciting. I know exactly who you are because I write a lot about the Shmoonis School and the work that you are doing, your researchers are doing in the school. So we have with us Sandra and Vlad Shmoonis. You established, as I said, the Shmoonis School for Biomedicine and Cancer Research. Are you proud of it? And if so, why? Who wants to start?
Yes, and because they're doing wonderful research. To be clear, we named the school, we provided some funding, but the school predates us. And it's a wonderful school, extremely well published, leads amongst their peers in publications, in awards, in donations, grants. And most importantly, they're doing work that saves people's lives, which was our original idea.
So tell me a little bit about the Shmoonis Anthropology Institute, because that was one that I wasn't very familiar with when I saw that. What are people studying there, and why is it important?
Well, we just came from a great visit with the professors there, and they're studying evolutionary processes and everything anybody wants to know about prehistory of human beings. And we find it fascinating. Our hope is that by studying the past, they can really influence the future, and they're studying some of the diseases that happened to the people 100,000 years ago in order to find cures for the diseases that are happening today to the people. So this is yet another interest of ours, and hopefully it will be, moving the needle for the science as well.
For sure. Now, many people, when they choose to make donations or be philanthropic, they give to people who are hungry, they give to the poor, but you've chosen to give to the university, to give to higher education. Explain why you think that is so important.
Yeah, we have this expression in the United States, moving the needle, and we simply don't have enough resources to feed the hungry or to stop world wars. But we felt that we could make a meaningful contribution in specifically fighting cancer, fighting genetic diseases, providing people with artificial organs, including hearts, which is all of the research that's being done at the Shmoonis Institute. And as Sana mentioned, look, science is science. Science is where you can with some very smart people, also a little bit of luck, a little bit of funding, where you can really make progress that will affect lives of millions or maybe billions of people in a very positive way. And that's why we chose to do it. So we think it's a very good return on investment. We're in business, so ROI and moving the needle with resources we have.
100%. Well, congratulations on your degree. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Do I have anybody else coming up now? Thank you so much. Hi, nice to meet you.
We met.
Yes, we've met for sure. I'm so excited. This is an honor. I have written many articles about your incredible work. Probably our listeners and viewers today do not know all of it, so explain to everybody who you are and the power of what you're doing.
Hi, I'm Ronit Sachi-Fainaro. I'm a professor at Tel Aviv University at the Faculty of Medicine, and I work on cancer research, where we recreate 3D printed cancer models in order to test new drugs for drug development, to do some personalized therapy for patients, and also for target discovery. And this work is supported by Maurice Kahn, who is getting the honorary doctorate tonight.
Wow, I did not know that connection. That is really special, actually. Wow. So talk about some of the breakthroughs that you've had in recent years, because I have seen you give lectures about actual accomplishments that are happening in your department.
Sure. So thanks to the models that we recreated, we get a better representation of the cancer tissue in the patients. And thanks to that, we found a target, a protein in the brain cancer, that now when we inhibit it, we can regress cancer that is really lethal. It's called glioblastoma, one of the most aggressive cancers in the brain and in general. And now we're starting clinical trial in Sheba Medical Center, where we're testing it on 30 patients, 20 of them with glioblastoma and 10 with melanoma brain metastases, as we found it to be a common denominator of brain tumors in general.
Amazing. So is there anything else that you want to tell, the world about the work that goes on here at Tel Aviv and the investments that are made in order to let it happen?
Sure. First, I would like to congratulate 3 of the winners that I have connections with. One is Maurice Kahn, whom I mentioned that is supporting our 3D printing project. The second one is a long-term collaborator, Nicolas Pepas, who is working with us on nanoparticles, whether it is for cancer vaccines to prevent cancer metastasizing to other organs. And this is using nanotechnology. And the third one is Tamir Gilat, who is also getting the honorary doctorate tonight, and he is supporting our work through the ICRF, the Israel Cancer Research Fund, also on brain metastases originating from lung cancer, melanoma, and breast cancer.
Well, thank you so much, and it's great to see you. Thank you. Hi, pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Tell us your names and your connection here with the university.
So my name is Leslie Gelruben Benita, and my connection to the university, I'm a third-generation governor at Tel Aviv University, governor and supporter, and I've been coming to the board of governor, I would say, for the past more than 35 years.
Wow, you do not look like that could be possible, but
I was a child.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa. I'm like, I need those genes,
No, I'm 45, but I was a child when I first stepped the foot on campus. I would come with my grandparents. They would show me around and instill, in me the passion for not only for Israel, for this campus, but also for education. So I think they did a good job.
Incredible. And who are you and what's your connection?
I'm Ran Neumann. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of the Arts. So I'm part of this university, yes.
Great. So tell me about the Faculty of the Arts. What are some of the highlights of the things that you're doing there and that could excite our viewers?
Well, the Faculty of the Arts is the leading Faculty of Arts in Israel. We have 5 schools, School of Television, Film and Television, School of Music, School of Architecture, School of Theater and Fine Art. And everything that you see that's being generated in Israeli culture and art mostly came out of our school. So it at least started, and then our students are graduates. They take leading position in the arts in Israel.
Now, I want to go back to you for a moment because you said you became very into education. So tell me about what are the things that you've learned and what is you supporting here at Tel Aviv University that you think is important in 2023?
Wow. If you asked me what I've learned over the years here, we can stay here for a very, very long time. I mean, honestly, I try to go to each and every of the meetings. There's not one year that I don't learn something new, interesting, something that I want to, dig deeper. I just want to say something because the reason why we're here together.
Right, that was going to be my next question. Yeah,
sorry.
Go for it.
So we created 10 years ago with Professor Eran Newman, and my brother, an international prize in architecture that is called the MIC Prize, the Michel Gelrubin Prize in Architecture. We named this prize after my late father. And, we started with this prize and we really thought, let's see what we can do. This is something that we keep inside the university. And this thing has grown at an incredible pace and is now an international award that is recognized thanks to his hard work. And we are competing, Tel Aviv University is competing with a lot of universities around the world and a lot of Ivy Leagues in America. So it just puts us on the map, Tel Aviv University on the map with all these other universities.
Let me tell you, I'm an architect and I've been in architecture for the last 35 years. And it's becoming, the MIC Prize is becoming really one of the leading prizes for students in architecture. So as Leslie said, we had submissions from students from Harvard University, from UPenn, from the Netherlands, from France, from all over the world. Surprisingly, because everything is online, we had some submissions from Iran, from Syria, from the Emirates. Well, now we have a relationship with the Emirates, so it's nice. So this prize also became a means to bridge between different people around the world, and we get hundreds of submissions every year, high quality and really work by students, and we're very thankful for.
Yeah, an amazing jury also. You know, we have had the privilege to work with the most famous architects around the world, so it's just wonderful.
Yes, every year we have a different chairperson of the jury. This year we had Moshe Safdie, you know, an international architect. We had Daniel Libeskind, Jean Nouvel, Jean-Michel Villemont, and so Vinka Dubeldam. Every year, so we have, you know, these leading architects internationally, you know, who also contribute to the prestige of this prize.
Incredible. Well, it's so great to meet you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. No, either one of you? Are you? Hi, nice to meet you. What's your name and tell me what you do here?
Okay, so my name is Dorit Newman. I'm a professor at the medical faculty, and I'm a cell biologist, and I serve as dean of students. That's why I'm wearing this outfit, and I'm very happy to be here today, and I'm very happy for all of the events of the Board of Governors, and I'm happy to show and excited to show all our doings at the Student Success Center, because our job is to make sure that we accompany the students all the way to their success.
Amazing. So talk a little bit about the importance of an honorary doctorate degree. I mean, it's honorary, so you didn't, I guess, work for it in some ways, like a regular PhD. So why is this so meaningful and people get so excited about it?
I guess it's far beyond being a PhD. It's about doing something meaningful, either to society or maybe to medicine. I guess it's that notch above, because we're all doing great things, right? Everybody's doing their great things in all their ways, but this is just the notch above, about looking that far beyond who you are and looking further on to really excel in more than one ways. And I think that the population or the group that are receiving the honorary doctorates are exceptional people, one by one, and it's a great honor to honor them here, right?
Incredible. Last question that I want to ask you is, you said you're dean of students. A lot of very successful students come out of Tel Aviv University. What is the secret sauce? Like, what are you doing to make that work?
Well, I think that, first of all, academically, I think we're really excelling. And I think that there's a fantastic vibe here. People want to come to Tel Aviv. It's a very big university.
My son goes here.
All right, very, very big university. Also very diverse. I mean, you have music faculty, you have the art faculty and music and architecture, and you have medicine, and you have engineering, and you have, you know, such a big, diverse population. And it's the beat about it, right? And we're Tel Aviv, and I think that we excel in those ways, and we want to excel even more, right?
Sure. Well, thank you so much. Great to meet you. Bye. Thank you. Congratulations to everyone.
Sorry.
Okay. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Tell me who you are and what you're doing here tonight.
I'm coming to the Board of Governors, and I'm working at the university in different areas. At the Human Brain Project, the European big Human Brain Project, 10 years project. And beside that, what is special for Israel, the Dead Sea, we established a Dead Sea Research Institute for life in extreme condition. A lesson from nature, the lowest place on earth, and a wonderful lesson for the climate change nowadays. And in parallel, and following the COVID, we established a Center for Healthy Aging, which is so important. And just to combine all the grantees here, we are working on science and art, music for therapy, driven imagination for therapy, remote sensing, art to express and to cure. So all that is just that.
Just that. Tell me about some of those lessons from the Dead Sea that you're finding. What is the preliminary research at the center, and what are you looking at?
We are working in a very, very broad band of topics. And really, maybe if I should say the essence is that there is no place like that in the world. We compared all the salt lakes in the world. It's the lowest, but also the very special one. It's very healthy. It has, like the laureate here, it has health. It has cure for not only, you breathe better, you have aerosols that relaxes you, it's less polluted, non-allergenic, the water is very safe, the mud is very good, and it opens the pores so you can penetrate drugs through the skin rather than through the body. And you have a lesson from the lizards, how to survive, from the plants, how to adapt. You have it all, and we need for the human beings, and that are these people. They did it for all of us.
100%. Well, thank you so much. It was great to meet you. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight. So thank you all so much for joining us, for watching as we get ready for the honorary doctorate degree ceremony here at Tel Aviv University. I'm Ayan Hoffman, Deputy CEO of Strategy and Innovation at the Jerusalem Post. Have a wonderful day.
I'm your host for tonight, Mr. Yaakov Elon.
Thank you very much. Shalom, Erev Tov. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very exciting night tonight, and we will commence the ceremony with the academic procession. I'd like to invite the deans of Tel Aviv University to enter the hall and take their seats in the front row. Vice Rector, Professor Eyal Zisser. Dean of the Katz Faculty of the Arts, Professor Eran Neumann. Dean of the Fleischmann Faculty of Engineering, Professor Noam Elias. Dean of the Raymond and Beverly Sackler Faculty of Exact Sciences, Professor Tova Milo. Dean of the Lester and Sally Entin Faculty of the Humanities, Professor Gali Cinnamon. Dean of Innovation and Teaching and Learning, Professor Liat Kishon Rabin. Dean of the Buchmann Faculty of Law, Professor Ishai Blank. Yeah. Dean of the George S. Wise Faculty of Life Sciences, Professor Abdel Salam Azem. Dean of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine, Professor Karen Abraham. Dean of the Gershon H. Gordon Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Itai Sened. And Dean of Students, Professor Dorit Neumann.
Honorary degrees and Since 1965, Tel Aviv University has awarded honorary degrees, an honor bestowed upon exceptional individuals who have contributed to the growth and advancement of the university and of society at large, both in Israel and around the world. As the song says, let it grow.
Standing at the crossroads, trying to read the signs to tell me which way I should go to find the answer. And all the time I know, plant your love and let it grow. Let it grow, let it grow. Show, plant your love and let it grow. Plant your love and let it grow. Let it grow. Let it grow. Let it blossom. Let it grow. Let it blossom. Let it grow. In the sun and in the snow. Love is lovely.
Thank you to dancer Ofri Agmon, choreography by Tamar Ilani. So, good evening, members of the Board of Governors, honorees, and distinguished guests. Welcome to you all. We come to join us here in this honorary degree conferment ceremony at Tel Aviv University 2023 International Board of Governors meeting. I invite the officers of Tel Aviv University to enter the hall and take their seats on the stage. Ms. Dafna Meitar Nechmad, Chairwoman of the Board of Governors. Professor Ariel Porat, President, and Professor Mark Steif, Rector. I now invite tonight's honorees to enter the hall. Please give them a hand. Senior Minister Tarman Shanugardnam, Professor Antoine Compagnon, Professor Barbara Engelking, Mr. Tamir Gilat, Mr. Maurice Kahn, Mr. Atala Mansour, Professor Nicholas A. Pepas, Professor Pavel A. Pevsner, Miss Sandra and Mr. Vlad Shmonis, and Miss Olga Tokarczuk. This is a great party. Kindly be seated, ladies and gentlemen. I invite the Chairwoman of the Board of Governors, Ms. Dafna Meitar Nechmad, to address the audience. Bevakasha.
University leadership, governors and friends, distinguished honorees and guests. Welcome. It is wonderful to see you. On the occasion of Israel's 75th anniversary, I wonder, what would Theodor Herzl, the father of Zionism, say about it? Last week, I attended the premiere of the opera Theodor, here at our own Israeli opera. It is an original work about Herzl, whose vision for a Jewish state was presented 126 years ago at the first Zionist Congress in Basel. Thanks to him, we are now celebrating 75 years of Israel as a Jewish, independent, and democratic state. But we can't sit on our laurels. As you know, currently there is a struggle within Israel over its democratic nature. Professor Porat, our university's president, will talk about that shortly. I would like to briefly touch on the centrality of Tel Aviv University in building up the progressive Israel that Herzl dreamed about. How do we do that? We do that by being an Israeli salad bowl for all the diverse groups of our society to meet and learn together, by being a ladder for upward social and economic mobility, a training ground for community responsibility, a greenhouse for research and innovation, a pathway to international collaborations and friendships, a haven for freedom of thought and expression, a model of social relevance. And mostly, we are a pillar of excellence and integrity for cultivating the next generations. Responsibility, innovation, excellence, and integrity. These are also among the qualities of our 10 exceptional honorees whom we are recognizing tonight. To return to the question I started with, what would Theodor Herzl say about today if he were right here with us? I think he would be astounded and impressed. I think he would look around and see our remarkable group of international and homegrown honorees, this supportive audience, this wonderful university in this amazing country, and be proud. One more thing, the opera Theodor I told you about, its composer, Jonathan Kahn, earned his BA and MA at Tel Aviv University's Buchman Mehta School of Music, and its librettist and director, Ido Riklin, is a teacher at our Department of Theater Arts. I want to thank you all for coming and for your contributed friendship and support for Tel Aviv University. Thank you. And now, because our 2023 Board of Governors is also a celebration of our successful $1 billion global fundraising campaign, I would like to show you the marvels that together we have accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daphna. And I invite President of Tel Aviv University, Professor Ariel Porat, to address the audience.
Good evening. Before I begin my remarks, I would like to acknowledge the passing of Miriam Smolash, Tau honorary doctor, governor, benefactor, and loving friend. She and her husband, the late Adolfo Smolash, generously dedicated this beautiful auditorium, as well as many other major buildings and projects on campus. Yehi Zichra Baruch. Dear laureates, I wish to express my gratitude to you for accepting our honors tonight. These are the highest honors awarded by the university, and every single one of you in your respective fields deserves this recognition and much more. Beyond paying tribute to a number of remarkable individuals, tonight's event also spotlights values Tel Aviv University promotes: academic freedom, pluralism, and democracy. Unfortunately, these humanistic values are under attack, both from without and from within. In the past years, the State of Israel and its universities have been targeted by the BDS movement. As you know, BDS supporters work to silence and isolate Israel, including its academic institutions. Recently, with the latest Israeli government advancing a controversial judicial revolution, the universities are feeling more heat. Supporters and institutions are downgrading ties. For example, several leading universities abroad, with which Tel Aviv University has always enjoyed outstanding cooperation, are reconsidering relations with us. Such moves against Israeli academia are troubling and terribly misguided. To understand why, I would like to tell you about what happened at Tel Aviv University in the last few months. Right after the last election, several extremist politicians proposed changes to the law that would cause certain acts of discrimination toward minorities. Tel Aviv University was the first public institution to immediately declare that it would never cooperate with discrimination, even if it becomes lawful. The government went on to attempt a constitutional revolution. As you all saw in the news, this step unleashed massive protest by numerous sectors in our society. The message conveyed by the protesters was that the reform would harm Israel's democratic character by critically damaging the independence of the judiciary and the rule of law. Among the protesters were hundreds of Tel Aviv University faculty members, myself included, who spoke out, participated in marches, and publicized their views through the media. The Tau Senate took part by issuing a stern objection. The leaderships of all Israel's universities took part by halting studies. Some of you may ask, how could the academic leadership of public, state-funded universities put neutrality aside and take a political stand? My answer is simple. In 3 instances, academic leaders can, and sometimes must, take a stand. First, when there is a threat to the institutions that they lead, to the academic system as a whole, or to academic freedom. Second, in defense of human rights and civil rights. And third, in support of democracy. In all these cases, and as part of our commitment as educators and social leaders, we, university leaders, might speak out and sometimes even shout. How many countries do you know where the academia stood up in such a determined manner against its government's policies? I know of none. And here I return to the topic I started with. If the future of Israel, its citizens, and the Jewish people is important to you, please do not associate the government's policies with those of the universities, not of this government or any government. There is, in fact, no other place where independent and critical thinking, including criticism of the government, is as encouraged and valued as at the universities. If you want to strengthen the State of Israel, support its universities, stand together with us, and help us maintain Israel's freedoms, its pluralism, its democratic character, and its economic and cultural resilience. Thank you for listening and for being here with us tonight. You have no idea how much strength it gives us that board members, scientists, public figures, cultural icons, and the wider public have joined us here. We hope you will always stand with us, including in difficult times. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Porat. Tel Aviv University's Buchman Mehta School of Music is among the world's elite music education institutions, providing a world-class, intensive, and personalized study experience. The Gertler String Quartet is the school's representative chamber ensemble, offering a rigorous educational program for young string musicians. The quartet is composed of 4 outstanding students of the School of Music, led by expert school faculty. I am very pleased to welcome to the stage Omer Hertz on violin, also Tamir Tavor on violin, Brenner Rosales on the viola, and Kim Grogot on cello. The quartet will perform Mozart's 4th movement from the 21st String Quartet in D major. Thank you very much, the Gertler String Quartet. We now come to the conferment of the George S. Wise Medal. We'll clear the stage and we'll watch our first video.
Competitively in hockey, football, cricket and athletics throughout his youth, and that he resigned as governor of the central bank to enter politics, continuing a life of public service. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tharman Shanmugaratnam.
The biggest influence in my life is my spouse and my life partner and my intellectual partner, someone who in her latter half of her 60s is still deeply engaged in the issues of the day and always interacting with me in a way which tries to form common thinking. Singapore's whole approach has been to see economic and social policies as bound up with each other. And our political strategy has to be to bring people together, make them feel as one. And Singapore's model of multiculturalism, but is about an active multiculturalism, providing common space for people to grow up together, go to school together, be working together in the same places, is how we create a sense of identity where everyone takes pride in multiculturalism. And that together with our social and economic policies is a way in which people get a sense that we're all moving up together. The challenges we face today are profound and unprecedented. Climate change is real and accelerating. We have a global water cycle that's out of kilter, and we have a loss of biodiversity and natural capital, which together are now shifting the Earth system in ways that will inflict profound damage on human society everywhere. And we can only address it with a stronger brand of multilateralism, stronger institutions, stronger collective action through institutions. We've got to uplift our lives together. And we uplift our lives through our innovation, the innovation that comes from competition, but we also uplift our lives by collaborating to solve common challenges.
I now invite Professor Ariel Porat and Daphna Meitar Nechmat to the center of the stage, followed by Senior Minister Tharman Shanmugaratnam. Tel Aviv University conferred the George S. Wise Medal upon Senior Minister Tharman Shanmugaratnam in recognition of his extraordinary public service record as an esteemed statesman and international economic leader. His proficient stewardship as a senior minister and coordinating minister for social policies of Singapore. His endeavors through top posts at the UN, IMF, G20, and G30 frameworks to redress the key challenges facing the world today, including financial governance, economic growth, education, health and water security, his immense contribution to global financial stability, especially his expert formulation of economic development strategies, and his warm friendship toward the State of Israel. I invite Senior Minister Tharman Shanmugaratnam to give a few words right here.
Ms. Meitar Nechmat, Professor Ariel Porat, Professor Jacob Frankel, distinguished guests, I'm deeply honored to have the George S. Wise Medal bestowed on me by Tel Aviv University. And I'm humbled to join a list of honorees, some of whom I've known personally and worked with very closely over the years, and to share the stage with an exceptional group of honorary degree recipients who have each contributed in distinctive but impactful ways to the social good. I see this award as recognition not for my own achievements, but for the collective achievements of my colleagues in Singapore and internationally. But it is also an award that is a call to action to go further in building inclusive societies where every individual and group can flourish and contribute to the public good, regardless of ethnicity, gender, or social background. And it is a call to action to develop the global cooperation and solidarity that we need to tackle the broader human prosperity challenge that is still not achieved, and to tackle the challenges of the global commons. We come to this task in a world that has entered an era that is fundamentally unstable and a world of human insecurity, where the forces of change are fracturing too many societies. But there is no inevitability. It is not preordained that we have a future of growing disorder or disunity. We can and must resist this future. Our central task everywhere, wherever we are, is to build resilience and optimism in a fundamentally unstable world. Build resilience and optimism in a fundamentally unstable world. And it means we have to adapt our social strategies, our economic policies, and our politics so that we build trust, in many places rebuild trust, so that we resist polarization, so that we uplift lives everywhere, and critically, so that we ensure a sustainable world. And as we do so, we draw on the lived tradition of this university, a tradition of innovating, not just for ourselves, but for the world. We draw on the inspiring example of George S. Wise himself, who dedicated his life to education in both the developing world and here in Israel. And we draw on the experience and the attitude of mind of Singapore and Israel that has enabled them to overcome obstacles that few expected them to overcome, and done so by developing capabilities and organizing ourselves to make the impossible possible and to make the possible reality. We now have to raise our ambitions. We must now develop these capacities collectively to achieve global prosperity, global upliftment, social mobility in every society. And we each do so in our own distinctive and modest ways, but it adds up. What each of us does, what each of our nations do, does add up. We have to turn the disadvantages of the developing world to advantage, just like we did in Israel and Singapore. We have to build collective resilience and optimism everywhere. Let's seed it, nurture it, and let it grow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senior Minister Tharman Shanmugaratnam.
Say a little prayer breath for you. And while combing my hair now, I'm wondering what dress to wear now. I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, yeah. Together, together, forever. Well, don't leave me heartbreak for me. I run for the bus, dear. While riding, I think of us, dear. I say a little prayer for you. And at work, I just take time. And all through my coffee break time, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, yeah. Forever, forever. Together, together. Only mean heartbreak for me. My darling, believe me. For me, there is no one but you. Please love me too. Answer my prayer now. Please love me true. Answer my prayer, babe. Forever, forever, yeah. Together, yeah. Together, forever, yeah. Well, don't leave me heartbreak for me. My darling, believe me. For me, there is no one but you. Please love me too. Answer my prayer, baby. Please love me true. Answer my prayer. Please love me too. Please love me true. Please love me true. Answer my prayer. תודה רבה.
Tonight we all say a little prayer for you, for us, for the world, with hope for unity, peace, and love. Thank you very much, creator and singer Kitria, for your special rendition of this Aretha Franklin's timeless hit. By the way, the song marks 55th years this year, and it is still very relevant. Now, following chairwoman of the Board of Governors, Ms. Daphna Meitar Nechmad, let's watch together the remarkable video summing up her remarkable campaign. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Rennie, and I'm here to tell you about the amazing impact of a 10-year campaign that...
Hey, אחי! חלאס! Hey! אני מנסה לצלם פה סרט!
Thanks to you, our generous donors and supporters, Tel Aviv University has successfully completed a 10-year, $1 billion campaign. Hey, I said $1 billion. You have helped establish TAU as one of the largest and leading academic institutions in Israel, the locomotive of Israeli society, and among the best in the world. Excellence, passion, opportunity. 20-year-olds who know more than me. That's Tel Aviv University. What happens here in these classrooms, labs, and libraries will change lives, even more than your blessed air fryer. So many talented and impressive rising academic stars. Hey, you, how do you plan on changing the world?
How do you all plan on changing the world?
Researchers test their brilliant ideas, expanding and accelerating new knowledge and discoveries. Like developing a method that analyzes up to 10,000 compounds in a patient's body, to tailor their drug treatment. Okay, I guess future just got postponed? But the present already holds so many breakthroughs in cancer research, neuroscience, nanomedicine, and regenerative technologies, including the world's first 3D printed heart. Hey, can you get me one of those? Cool, thanks. Oh, whoa! And can't forget that food for the soul. No, I'm not talking about hummus. I'm talking about all the humanities and arts. Theater, music, and film.
Many come, they're on to us. We've got to go.
But wait, we still haven't discussed AI, data science, fighting pandemics, Jewish studies, sports medicine, climate change, and most importantly, healthy aging, which I know I'm doing it so well.
Cut, another one.
Wait, there's one more thing that we're forgetting. What was it? Oh, yes. Thank you, dear TAU friends. We couldn't have done it all without you. And cameraman, give me that blue sky and logo.
We now come to the conferment of the Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa. I ask Professor Ariel Porat and Professor Mark Steif, please come over. Please join me here because we have a video to show. So please come here and let's stand here and we'll watch our first video of the first winner tonight.
Here are 3 facts you didn't know about our next winner. He started his academic career as an engineer. The first time he ate a grapefruit, it was in a case sent from Israel from a friend of his father. He feels at home in the digital world in spite of the fact that he is a literary scholar. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Antoine Compagnon.
The main writers that brought me to literature, Stendhal, Proust, Baudelaire, I would say. It's the main lessons of life. The arts, on death, on mourning, on love and jealousy. It's a bit like an encyclopedia of all that you can feel during your whole life. I had a lot of luck because I was able to teach and do research in the best institutions, both in France and in the US. My involvement with Tel Aviv University is quite old, 25 years, I suppose. Are those achievements? I don't know, because you cannot trust any item on your CV, so I don't think I really believe in achievements. The achievement is always the next challenge. I never make projects. It should always be that projects are obligations. They fall upon you, and then you realize them. I don't think I ever decided, for instance, to write a book. But at some point, you have to do it. It's on your desk, and it's in your head. You do it because you have no choice. It's like, I guess, a sort of faith or grace. You don't decide. God decides.
I now invite Professor Antoine Compagnon. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Antoine Compagnon in recognition of his eminence as a scholar of French literature and public intellectual. His distinct interdisciplinary approach to literary studies, which draws on linguistics, logic, philosophy of language, sociology, history, and cultural studies. His influential and wide-ranging works, which have garnered him broad popular and academic acclaim in France and globally. His efforts to intensify collaborative ties between Tel Aviv University and the Collège de France. His solidarity with the State of Israel during trying times, often in the face of public adversity. And his warm friendship spanning decades with Tel Aviv University and its French Friends Association, including his cooperation with the French Culture Program, by conferring upon him the degree of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. And now, our next winner, please watch.
Who could imagine that our next winner cannot swim and that she has 2 9-year-old cats? Also, she doesn't like the color yellow. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Barbara Engelking.
To chyba taką najbardziej inspirującą osobą był i nadal jest mój ojciec. Od wczesnego dzieciństwa, jak siedzi zamknięty w swoim pokoju i pracuje i zmaga się z materią pracy naukowej, było inspirujące i w jakiś sposób, jeżeli chodzi o samą metodę pracy i na to, że ludzie się nie uczą na podstawie ani cudzych, ani własnych doświadczeń, ale to bynajmniej nas nie zwalnia z robienia tego, co robimy. 1 milion Żydów, którzy zginęli w Polsce, musi zostać upamiętniony. I środowisko Uniwersytetu w Tel Awiwie i badaczy Holokaustu, którzy tam pracują i którzy zajmują się zagładą, jest dla mnie niezwykle cenne i wiem, że to są koledzy, na których zawsze mogę liczyć w swojej pracy i w których zawsze się mogę zwrócić z rozmaitymi pytaniami. Żeby zacząć swoje doświadczenie z badaniem nad zagładą od uważnego słuchania tego, co mówią ludzie, którzy przeżyli, od czytania ich relacji i od rozumienia ich doświadczenia. Taki rodzaj nawiązania więzi, który stwarza tą przestrzeń do głębszego zaangażowania się w badanie zagłady.
I now invite Professor Barbara Engelking to come forward. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Barbara Engelking in recognition of her pioneering contribution to Holocaust scholarship, her courageous determination to counter Holocaust distortion and expose the complexities of Polish-Jewish relations during Second World War, regardless of personal cost. Her detailed research publications that convey in chilling detail the horrors of the Holocaust to a broad audience and heighten awareness of the past. Her commitment to training new generation of Holocaust scholars to lead and shape the field in the years to come, and her warm ties with Israeli institutions, among them Yad Vashem, where she has been a 4-time research fellow, by conferring upon her the degree of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. And now, our next winner.
You will be surprised to know that our next winner likes to cook and play golf. He practices, learns and teaches Buddhism. And he was the only professional football player to study law in Tel Aviv University while playing in the Major League. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tamir Gilat.
I realized that I'm not happy. Something is missing in the whole picture. I felt that something is not in harmony with my body. I was diagnosed the very same day with 2 types of cancer, kidney cancer and pancreatic cancer, and I went home knowing that I need to prepare for my family for goodbye. No more business, no more hobbies. I was supposed to die. I didn't die. I did never ask myself why it happened to me, even not one time. I realized that this is life, and I need to deal with it. I need to let go, to accept it from strength, not from weakness. Like, in basic Buddhism, that you understand that you don't grab things, you let them go, and this way it remains undeveloped. Tel Aviv University is part of my life, is part of my heart. I grew up in Tel Aviv University since my days as a football player, and then I joined the Friends of Tel Aviv University Management when I became a lawyer, and then, of course, the great honor of being at the Board of Governors of Tel Aviv University. The Israel Cancer Research Fund is one of the most important charities in Israel, but we are talking about the dream team of the Israeli cancer research. And every important cancer researcher in Tel Aviv University was awarded at least one time by the Israel Cancer Research Fund. Today, it's between 5 to 10 different families that are calling me every day from different places in the world, consulting with me about how to live with cancer, how to deal with cancer, what to do. The minute that a cancer patient is calling me, I don't remember myself. It's like kind of taking me up to a different place. This thing became one of the most important things in my life. I'm just a patient that's sharing with them my journey. It gives them hope.
Mr. Tamir Gilad, please come to the center of the stage. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Tamir Gilad in recognition of his standing as an accomplished lawyer, businessman, and a community health advocate. His heartfelt willingness in his role as chairman of the Israel Cancer Research Fund to volunteer his time toward providing compassionate support to thousands of cancer sufferers and their families over the years. His inspiring zest for life, optimism, smile, and strength in refusing to give in to two devastating cancer diagnoses against all odds. His unflagging dedication to championing Israeli cancer research and its crucial role in offering hope to millions of sufferers around the world. And his warm, decades-long friendship towards Tel Aviv University and its Israeli Friends Association by conferring upon him the degree of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. I kindly request Professor Porat and Professor Steif to take your seats. And now, creator Gilad Hazan is among Israel's best oud players, creating original connections between past, east, and west. Gilad is deeply engaged in academia and is a lecturer of classic Eastern music. In the following piece, Gilad and the Alila Ensemble have created a charming connection between Jordanian Debka music and American country music. So please welcome to the stage Gilad Hazan and the Alila Ensemble. Yankee Sean on the violin, Asaf Rabi, bass guitar, Roy Isaac, darbuka, and Orei Naveh, percussion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. So we are a little band. You don't know us yet, but please trust that we are really good, okay? So we're going to start. So with your trust, we're going to do some audience participation, and it's going to start with 3 claps, okay? So I'm going to clap 3 times, and you're going to clap it with me, okay? Okay, so we're going to have 3 claps, and then a small break, okay? Rather longer break. Okay, good. And now we'll do it with counting, okay? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well done, well done. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gilad Khazan and the Lila Ensemble. Yeah. And now, please watch our next winner.
Here are 3 facts you didn't know about our next winner. He came to Israel with the goal to retire and become a pensioner. He reads at least 2 books per week. His favorite food is strawberry milkshake. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Morris Kahn.
I've just turned 93. There are things that I do and I want to continue doing it. I love sailing, I love diving, and I ride horses. People don't believe. I think I've just had to give up skiing, and that pains me. When I was young, I had an uncle, and my uncle said, you should do a good deed every day. And I never knew when I was going to meet my uncle, so I would always make a point of looking for something to do that would help somebody. In case I met him, I had a good answer. I came to Israel in 1956, young man. I began farming, and then I discovered very quickly that Israel needed to provide employment. And together with Kibbutz Tzorah, we built a bicycle factory to provide employment for these new immigrants. We're looking to make a contribution to mankind. We're looking for what we can do to build a country. And we're looking at the same time the possibility of making money. But money has never been the driving factor in the decision of what I've made. The advice that I would give young prospective entrepreneurs at the Tel Aviv University, they should have belief in what they're doing, not to be driven by a financial objective, not to be driven just to make money.
Let me ask Professor Ariel Porat and Professor Mark Steif, please walk to the center of the stage. And ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Mr. Morris Kahn. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Morris Kahn in recognition of his accomplishment as a business pioneer, innovator, and philanthropist. His entrepreneurial prowess in founding a range of successful business ventures, among them the multinational corporation Amdocs. His expansive philanthropic giving to causes including education, biomedical research, youth leadership, space exploration, and the marine environment. His commitment to Israeli science, as demonstrated through his generous support of diverse university and hospital-based projects, including the 3D cancer printing initiative at Tel Aviv University, and Save a Child's Heart, which has helped over 6,000 children from developing countries. And his staunch Zionist spirit, love for Israel, which has expressed not only through his own family's aliyah, but also through his ongoing endeavors to enhance Israel's standing and image in the global arena, by conferring upon him the degree of Dr. Philosophiae Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. Professor Porat and Professor Steif, please come over here. Let's watch the next presentation of our next winner.
Here are 3 facts you didn't know about our next winner. He likes to collect stamps. He is addicted to gardening. At the age of 80, he built a second home at his childhood village, and he stays there for a few days every month to tend to the garden. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Atala Mansour.
הייתי מאוד מאוד ברמזן,
עם אבא שלי, והוא היה לי המורה הכי טוב אי פעם. אני הייתי עיתונאי באופן מקרי. הייתי אצל בן גוריון, אבל הוא עניין מאוד בי ובאבא שלי ובמשפחתי. הוא סלע, שמע שאני הייתי אצל בן גוריון, הוא אמר, אבל זה סיפור. אז הוא אמר לי, תכתוב לי את זה. הוא הדפיס את זה מהעולם הזה. ואורי אבנרי אמר לי, אתה תשלח לי סיפורים מהרחוב הערבי, ואני אשלם לך משכורת. אני, כערבי, שחסר השכלה, הצלחתי כל חומר שאני כתבתי, פורסם. אני עבדתי בעיתון הארץ 12 שנים, אני עבדתי בידיעות אחרונות. פשוט, אני הייתי אדם, כפי שאבא שלי רצה. הוא אמר לי, אתה יכול לעשות את זה, ואני עשיתי יותר מה שהוא רצה ממני.
Let me invite Mr. Atala Mansour to come forward. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Atala Mansour in recognition of his immense contribution to civil, cultural, and democratic discourse in Israel over almost 7 decades as a highly respected author and journalist. His life's work in building bridges between his Arab home community in Israel and the Jewish one, while offering the international readership a deeper understanding of Israel's complex reality. His work over 33 years at the Haaretz newspapers, during which time he covered all of the key events in Israel's history, ranging from the Six-Day War to the Israeli-Egypt peace talks. His fairness, integrity, and professionalism, coupled with his exceptional command of the Hebrew language, and his serving as an inspiration for a new generation of Israeli Arab writers and journalists seeking to promote genuine intercultural understanding and coexistence in Israel. By conferring upon him the degree of Dr. Philosophii Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next winner.
Here are 3 facts you didn't know about our next winner. He is a history buff, mostly the Byzantine era. He is addicted to opera. As a young man, he studied music, but left it behind for a more lucrative career in engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Nicholas Pepas.
I feel very excited to read something new in music. I much prefer that to running, for example, for an hour. The person that inspired me the most was a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Edward Merrill. Taught me the biomedical field, but at the same time, taught me how to care about people. You don't do something just to publish it to a small group of people, but at the same time you do it because you want to help patients. Mentoring is an extremely important exercise, activity for professors. I hope and I believe that I still understand what the young generation wants. There is something very special about taking a young student who just finished high school, and they come in and they start working with me, and it's at the beginning, it's a few hours and so on, and eventually delivering a strong scientist. We like to do what's called fundamental research, but make sure this fundamental research helps at the same time. has an innovative aspect. I know that Tel Aviv University is very, very supportive of innovation, not only in new products, but it can be also in new processes.
I invite Professor Nicholas A. Pepas to come forward. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Nicholas A. Pepas in recognition of his immeasurable influence for almost 5 decades as a leader and face-setter in the fields of drug delivery, biomaterials, and bio-nanotechnology. His interdisciplinary research approach, which blends molecular and cellular biology with materials engineering to produce next-generation biomedical systems and devices. His seminal work in the controlled release of therapeutic agents that has become the scientific and industry standard. His profound contribution to enhancing the health of millions through over 20 medical products and systems. His endeavors over decades as teacher and mentor to new generations of young researchers, many of them are today successful scientists and physicians in their own right. And his fruitful ties with Israeli research institutions, among them Tel Aviv University, by conferring upon him the degree of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. In Yemenite Jewish tradition, a wedding is a pivotal event for family bonding, an event filled with joy and colors. Im Nin Alu is a joyful and rhythmic Yemenite Jewish piyut sung at every wedding. Im Nin Alu, Gilad Chazan, and the Alila Ensemble.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gilad Chazan and the Alila Ensemble. We're moving on to our next winner.
Here are two facts you didn't know about our next winner. While pursuing his PhD, he was living off gathering empty bottles at Moscow railway stations. Before deciding to become a scientist, he was seriously considering a career of a ski instructor. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Pavel Pevsner.
Decoding the secrets of terra incognita of the human genome is really exciting. Sometimes I feel like an ancient explorer stepping on an unknown island, finding all new animals and plants growing on this island. Genome sequencing has transformed modern biomedicine. In the beginning, it was viewed as an obscure and impractical approach, but eventually, the vast majority of genome available today were assembled using approach developed in my lab. So it is something that I'm very proud about. All my lectures are recorded and publicly available online. My class time is used for interactions with students. As a result, my students never text. Tel Aviv University has one of the strongest teams in the world. My daughter Miri studied computer science at Tel Aviv University. She went on to have a successful career to one of the largest software companies in Israel, and I now have 3 wonderful grandchildren. One of them is an aspiring biosecurity expert, another is an aspiring triathlon champion, and the third one is an aspiring NBA player. I cannot complain. Okay, let's finish it and let Eden go surfing.
Let me ask Professor Ariel Porat and Professor Mark Steif, and I invite Professor Pavel A. Pevsner to come forward. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Pavel A. Pevsner in recognition of his standing as a world authority in computational biology and bioinformatics. His distinctive research approach that combines theoretical insights with the development of tools and practical applications for tracking real-world biological questions. His exceptional contribution to computational methods for sequencing of DNA, antibodies, and antibiotics, which has had far-reaching implications for fields ranging from personalized medicine to evolutionary science. His immense academic impact as a pioneer of new fields and as a committed educator, his influential scientific articles and textbooks that have garnered him diverse accolades and broad admiration from the global scientific community, and his valued warm ties with the Israeli scientific community, especially with researchers at Tel Aviv University, by conferring upon him the degree of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. Professors, please come over here and let's watch our next winner.
Who could imagine that our next winners went to the same elementary school in the Ukraine, but met several years after in the US? They went to Burning Man for 12 consecutive years. Together, they founded the world's largest and fastest growing provider of unified communication service. Ladies and gentlemen, Sandra and Vlad Shmunis.
Bill Gates was a huge inspiration for the professional, RingCentral, and prior companies.
And of course, then used his fortune to really divert his resources to the world of philanthropy. We actually have a number of programs with Tel Aviv University.
We're looking for the projects that can really make an impact.
We have always been a history buff. So some of these projects that we're doing, in particular with Tel Aviv, is supporting excavations
That can provide an incredible look into the past that can possibly answer some questions into the future.
Both of my parents passed away from cancer. Sana's mom passed away from breast cancer.
If our contribution can help move the needle, at least for some people, that would be extremely meaningful.
The question I always ask is, when does the pill come out? When does the shot come out? Look, answer is a long time, but it's not infinite time. So that is absolutely amazing.
Our goal is to support the scientists.
State of Israel and Tel Aviv University in particular have amazing talent.
So what better place to invest in philanthropy that can produce some meaningful results?
You need to see what was, what is, and maybe you put that together, it will help you navigate what will be.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Sandra and Mr. Vlad Shmunis. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Sandra and Vlad Shmunis in recognition of their transformation from humble beginnings as immigrants to influential power couple. Their entrepreneurial vision in founding Ring Zero Systems and later Ring Central, a provider of cloud-based communication solutions. Their caring philanthropic spirit in supporting diverse, important causes in Israel and the US through their family foundation, among them Jewish values, young entrepreneurs, cancer research, and biblical archaeology. Their particular generosity toward Tel Aviv University is in establishing the highly successful Shmunis School for Biomedicine and Cancer Research and Shmunis Anthropology Institute, and their warm friendship toward Israel and desire to help position in a global leader of cancer research on molecular biomedical research by conferring upon them the degree of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. And now, our last but not least winner tonight.
That our next winner wanted to be a nuclear physicist, and that she started her life in literature with poetry, but abandoned it in favor of writing novels, which she considered as a higher literary form. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Olga Tokarczuk.
Telling story is the one of the most important activity of human beings. I don't only mean about paper books, but also image, like film, movie. One of my books will be changing into computer games, which I'm very happy, because it seems to me that the story is the most important thing. And the story can appear in a new media. The stories I used to invent, they are always a little bit paradoxical, juicy, full of unusual figures. Readers ask me, Olga, this book, is it true or is it false? I don't have a simple answer. Of course, it's never happened, but it could happen. And in a psychological sense, it's happening right now when you read. Please read. For one page of written text, you need 1,000 pages of read text. I got something very important, so I just would like to share with people with this. And I created the foundation of my name. I would like to concentrate on animals' rights, questions of women's rights, and equality is also very important for me. I think we are going more and more power. I'm very proud of this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Olga Tokarczuk. The Senate of Tel Aviv University resolved to honor Olga Tokarczuk in recognition of her accomplishment as a world-renowned author and social activist. Her spellbinding works that have been translated into 40 languages and have won her numerous awards, most notably the Nobel Prize for Literature. Her unique style that combines writing of the highest literary caliber with astute psychological sensitivity. Her bold willingness to address political and social injustices and bring the troubles of the marginalized groups to the forefront of the national and international agenda, often at deep personal cost. Her courageous efforts to secure Polish national recognition of crimes committed against Jews during the Second World War, as well as against refugees in the present day, and her warm friendship and willingness to collaborate with Israel's academic community, including scholars at Tel Aviv University, by conferring upon her the degree of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa of Tel Aviv University. Thank you very much. That concludes our conferment of the degrees of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa. I kindly request Professor Porat to take your seat, and Professor Steif, please come to the podium to address the audience. Thank you.
Dear colleagues, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, humankind faces great challenges today, and research universities play a crucial role in addressing these challenges. Global warming, loss of biodiversity, the depletion of natural resources, eradicating poverty and illiteracy, and finding a cure for cancer is just a partial list. To address these challenges, we must rise above all discord and conflicts that have recently been tearing societies apart. At times like these, the inspiration we draw from outstanding men and women like tonight's honorees is of special importance. More power to you. We are so grateful to you for being such a wonderful source of inspiration. Thank you. However, if you will allow me, I would like to speak about something else, something different, yet not unrelated, as I will explain shortly. I wish to speak about the recent developments we have all witnessed in the field of artificial intelligence, or AI, the large language models, the first of which, such as ChatGPT and others, are now available to the public. These digital tools can converse with us as if they were human. They can comment on any topic and respond to almost any question faster and often more accurately than most humans can do. If you have not tried ChatGPT yet, please do so as soon as you can. Ask it to summarize a story or article for you. Ask for advice about an unfriendly neighbor. Or ask it to provide you with a proof for the Pythagorean theorem in rhyme. You simply must try it, and when you do, I'm sure you'll agree that even if it's not perfect yet, ChatGPT is absolutely amazing. Even if its developers are astounded. And remember that this is only the beginning. Clearly, this intelligent new creature is about to play a focal role in our lives. It will help us look for solutions for many of the challenges that I have just mentioned. It will help us understand fundamental concepts that lie at the very core of our existence. It will help us define intelligence and decipher the mysteries of our minds. But at the same time, it will pose some new and previously unknown challenges. Not only because it will take our jobs or cause incalculable damages when placed in the wrong hands, These threats are already known to us from other technologies. But because it might develop an agenda of its own that does not serve us and might even conflict with our interests as humans. Thus, curbing the power of AI has become one of humanity's biggest and most urgent challenges today. But where does Tel Aviv University stand in all this? As evidenced by our past and present recruitment efforts in engineering and exact sciences, we insist on maintaining academic leadership in the spheres of AI. But at the same time, we're also attending to its impact on other disciplines, the humanities, the social sciences, medicine, law, and the arts. In all these fields of learning, AI creates fundamental questions, and we, like academia worldwide, must take an active part in relevant research. There are many lines of research to follow, but one that is particularly important, in my opinion, is research that will help us make sure that these amazing new tools will benefit all of humanity and not only the giant corporations capable of funding its development. The issues of funding AI research and making it accessible to the public must certainly be addressed in the near future. We're also making some major adaptations in the educational arena. All students from all disciplines on campus are offered course clusters on data science and AI. Many courses and teaching methodologies are being changed, taking the new AI tools into consideration. We are adapting ourselves to a world in which AI is not only part of our reality, but it is also what shapes both our present and future. Ultimately, research universities, like many other entities, will have to find their way in a new and unfamiliar world. They must establish their place and their public and social roles in an unknown environment. In this new world, we face numerous questions, yet one thing is certain: there is no way back. We cannot undo knowledge. Artificial intelligence is here, and it is here to stay. Sometimes when I am in the right mood, I try to imagine the challenges that will face the rector who will stand in my place and speak to you 25 years from now. Quite honestly, I don't always know whether I envy or fear for him or her. The answer will probably be determined by our own actions in the coming days and years. I believe that if we are watchful enough, if we remember the mandate placed in our hands, the status of higher education and research will only grow stronger, and the rector of Tel Aviv University, standing here in the year 2050, will speak of us not as the lost generation of the wilderness, but rather as the generation of transformation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Steif. Thank you, the individuals whom we honor today. They are an inspiration not only for us, but for our children. And with this in mind, I'd like to welcome back Kitria to perform a song that emphasizes exactly that.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never felt anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest inside of me. The greatest love of all. It's easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Laura.
Thank you, the singer and creator Kitria. I now invite Ms. Olga Tokarczuk to respond on behalf of the honorees.
Thank you so much. Okay, good evening, everybody. I find it extremely moving to think of the university as having existed for many centuries. Universities are living proof of our attachment to teaching and learning, our trust in science, and in the accumulation of knowledge. But by enabling the advance of knowledge, universities have made the world a better place. With immense gratitude on behalf of us all, I would like to thank you, Tel Aviv University, for the honor we are receiving. When I tried to find a common denominator to describe our activities and what unites us, the words that came to my mind were the true, by which I mean striving to discover the mechanisms that drive reality in its various aspects, from the biological and the chemical via the technical through to history and journalism. These days, standing up for the true is a major challenge. For a long time now, the mass of accumulated knowledge has been so vast that the individual human mind is no longer capable of embracing it. That extraordinary product of the 20th century, an intellect specialized in a single field, is bound to feel uneasy as we become more and more conscious of the complex relationships and the dependencies that we have to take into consideration if we want to understand the world. We face the immense challenge of understanding the mutual relationships between many different spheres of knowledge, the challenge of conscience as the fulfillment of humankind's endless desire to integrate knowledge from every possible field, from the exact science via socio-economic studies through to the liberal arts and even literature. This is a new tree of knowledge where all academic disciplines supplement one another. Each branch of knowledge is essential and cannot be excluded. It is a search for a common system for the whole human knowledge based on a belief in a unity of nature and in putting the world in order. At the same time, if it's going to be useful, The organization of the knowledge must be accessible to all. Only then do studying and learning make sense. But making knowledge widely accessible also gives rise to the risk of its being used in a cynical or deceptive way to produce pseudo-theories and fake news. Nowadays, these can be easily substantiated by means of the internet or the hallucinations of artificial intelligence. One day, these false narratives could become literally dangerous. Even when we have knowledge based on scientific sources at our disposal, it sometimes meets with rejection. This often happens when the knowledge is painful, frightening, or outrageous, so people refuse to accept it, purely to protect their own sense of comfort, their own notions and wishful thinking, preferring, whether consciously or not, to remain in ignorance and to close their eyes to things they find inconvenient. Today, I feel honored that literature, in other words, a field that is quite remote from the main challenges of the university, is being given the opportunity to rank alongside science. Literature, too, has a voice to offer in providing an account of the world. It does so in its own language and by its own methods, by arranging interwoven themes into meaningful patterns, and by transforming the individual, trivial events of our lives into meaningful human experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Olga Tokarczuk. Before we finish, I would like to say a couple of thank yous to the people who produced this evening. Pro Market Group, executive producer Hadar Ventura Kachka, and director Yaniv Tzadok. Thank you very much. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Hatikva, the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this evening's ceremony. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.